Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of season 2 of the Dead Realms. So, one big disclaimer: Twitch has been having problems the day of this broadcast. There could be a chance of us disconnecting because Twitch is messing up throughout the day. So, if for whatever reason this gets disconnected or what have you, we'll apologize in advance and we'll just do the recap of whatever happened and we'll just record the rest of the session. Other than that, chance of having a possible disconnect because of Twitch. Hopefully, with all these issues, we're risking it all. We're gonna do it live, like we said before we even record it. So, I am your humble DM, Tyler. Nice to see you all again. We are down a player of Ascendancy who plays Claudia. He could not make it to the session tonight, so I will be doing my best to try to run his character sheet. But let's introduce to the rest of the cast. Starting with Bebo this time around. So,
hello, I am Ryan Peppers, our lovely cleric.
Yenvon, the Reborn.
Equus, half-orc druid.
Sorry. Name's Notable. I'm playing Yaman, and he's a cool paladin. I love him.
And I'm Sirius. I am playing Copper, your Copper Dragonborn monk.
alrighty. So, if you guys would like to join the Discord that we usually live stream from and getting all these nice, lovely people, you could click the Pocket Dimension Discord. The invite links in the description below. You can also support Dead Realms by clicking the Redbubble merch in the description below as well, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, guys, because that's how you are most accessible to all of our episodes and what have you. We are banned in certain countries, but not the world yet, hopefully. So, other than that, I think that's all the housekeeping, guys. So, you guys ready for a fun episode as we're counting down the last final episodes here of season 2?
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
Come on.
Alrighty. So let's recap what happened. You guys faced off against Red in a very crazy battle that involved cultists, zombies, and a demonically controlled red dragon controlled by Red. And on top of that, Yaman, was corrupted, and at one point Yenvon was once corrupted as well. Red tried to corrupt all of you into his side, but you guys prevailed in the end, killing Red, knocking out all the cultists, along with dispelling whatever corruption that was corrupted the dragon. The dragon, seeing that a Dragonborn was amongst your party, and since you freed its mind control, allowed you to live and gave you 10 minutes to walk away. And within that time frame, you guys grabbed whatever you could grab off of Red, his cohorts, and whatever coin remained from the area, and hightailed out of there, leveling up 2 levels. And since then, you guys have leveled up. You guys have dished out the awesome loot. And at this point, before we ended the last episode, you guys were distributing the loot. And Yenvon and his brother Yaman were concerned because they got their powers from Red. And just as if their magic was about to fade, a shimmering bright light appeared. And you guys see them in angelic forms. But before that, during that bright light of flashing light, Yenvon and Yaman, both of you are in this weird pitch black void. You feel puddles all around you as if you're standing on top of a lake. And you look at one another and you realize, looking at each other, looking at yourselves, and looking at the reflection on the water below you, you are no longer the devils that you once were, but in fact, you turned into your true forms, Aasimar. More specifically, Aasimars that are not one step above Aasimar, but close to angels as you could possibly get. And then a rush of memories starts to flow within both your minds. It seems that during the apocalypse, you guys were set off on a task. Vaguely remembered trying to guard a female woman, in which both of you know is now the Morrigan. For what reasons, you aren't sure. It's not so clear. But at one point, you encountered Red, and Red caught you off guard, and during your weakened state that both of you were in, Red corrupted both of you and turned you both into tieflings, and had locked away your memories of your past lives as Asimar, and created false, what's the word I'm looking for? False identities, thinking you were wicked and ones, but deep down, both of you had some compassion of good within you. And you look all around, and you're in a pitch black void with the pulse rippling again, and it seems like you had a rush of memories instantly, and now at this point you're recovered, and it's just you and your brother, Yevon.
We have been here far too long, brother. We must return.
Nice. Good job.
Oh god, caught me off guard. Was that in character?
Yeah. That's his new voice.
That's his new voice. I'm gonna look at my brother and say, brother, it's all come back to me. Is this our true forms?
It seems we have been stricken with strange ailments, reducing our minds to that but mush. We are strong again, brother. It is time that we rise.
Rise,
I'm gonna
you
post
shall.
a picture as whatever.
Yeah,
happens
describe what your
happens.
character looks like. So,
So I posted a picture in the Dead Realms chat, but he is an ethereal wave of muscle, standing at ridiculous portions. Like, he is absolutely huge. And covering his chest is like golden feathers that wreath him like armor. As far as his face, only a hood exists and darkness within.
Fuck. Holy shit, is that Yenvan?
That's Yenvan.
Motherfucker.
so what does his brother Yaman
Oh my
look
god.
like?
Yaman, unlike his brother, who he's not used to this change. It's been a while since he's seen this. He is completely covered in a strange armor. His face gone, his horns gone, almost as if this radiant armor has imbued itself into his very soul. And out from the back sprout these glorious white wings. Smaller than his brother, obviously. His brother is insanely large now. But, angelic. Yeah.
So as you two are looking around, and before you are about to leave, what was the last line you said, Yanwan?
We must rise.
And all of a sudden you hear an echoing voice around you saying, "Rise you shall, Asimar," and more ripples beneath the waters below you starts to form. And you both look down, and you're side by side. You look down, and all of a sudden you see a female elven figure appear behind you. And as you turn around, you see that this elven figure, more velvet and more ethereal glow than ever before, but more elvish in nature. You two, as direct descendants of angels, recognize this form. It is the goddess of revenge herself, Shar, before you.
Wouldn't I recognize her?
Yamon's gonna
It is just the angels at this point. So.
Yamon's immediately gonna kneel and say, "Forgive me, I have forgotten you, my goddess."
It is not to worry for you, Yaman, for thanks to your efforts and my sister's cleric, that I am once again risen.
I do not commune with false gods. Should Helm arise, I will speak with him. And he turns his back.
Helm has not been seen for quite some time, Yenvan. In fact, his memory is starting to be lost to time as we speak. His last remnants of his power lies within you, just as I laid the last remnants of my power to Yaman during his time with Red, angering for revenge. And as I was about to fade, I gave the last to him, risking knowing that he would one day get his revenge. And thanks to the rise of my sister's church, that I was starting to reform and only through Yaman's act of revenge am I fully reborn. I cannot coexist unless my sister is existent. She is the moon, and I am the shadow that surrounds it.
Yanfan can't help but chuckle. So I was once a warlock in pledged service to myself. Strange. I will attempt to foster this child of power.
So you shall. As much as I would like for Yaman to get revenge upon my sister, there is something, a matter that me and my sister have both discussed, that requires your friend's efforts along with yourself. You are familiar with the girl that you were supposed to protect, yes?
I'm gonna hang my head in shame.
We did fail. She is in the clutches of great evil.
Evil? Possibly. But it is not an act from a deity from the outside realm. We gods with full power scared off these deities from other dimensions, other realms that try to creep up. But because of the world and the current state of things, the gods are slowly losing their power, dwindling, almost fading. Half of my brothers and sisters are already been gone, leaving the last of their powers to those who still worship them. The only strong gods that I recall are just me and my sister for now. And now this Morrigan, who has come from another realm, attempts to overthrow the entire Faerun pantheon. There was another god previous year that once tried to do something similar, but that god's fate has already been sealed.
If we are to give rise to greater good, then we must instill greater value in those that we meet. The new gods will rise better than the previous ones. If we are not sure of that, then the Morrigan will eat our dimension. We must fight it.
And fight you shall, warriors. That is the expectation of me and my sister. We will have a truce for now, until this issue is solved. We'll back off from one another, so you can ensure that I will not interfere in mortal realms for the meantime. Yes.
Say it.
Yaman.
So Yaman's gonna look towards Yenvin and say, "Brother, I truly do wish to fight with you, but I have a concern, my god.
That being?
Am I to still serve you? I have enacted my revenge, my rite of passage."
Your revenge was already served. You wished Red dead, and dead he was. You have served your revenge. If you wish to still obtain power from me, you are willing to do so. So far as you inflict vengeance on those who deserve it, and not ones who don't.
I understand. With that, I do still wish to serve under you, my god, if I may.
Goddess. Goddess. Not God.
You're not there.
Permission you have for now, so long as you follow the oath that you once pledged to. There should be no issues arising.
I understand. I will not fail you. Not again.
You see her form start to fade a bit, and she says, "Our time is short here, Asimar. Defeats this Morrigan before she engulfs the world with her army, her ravens, and herself." And all of a sudden, you just sink to the bottom as if you're getting pulled down underneath. And at this point, you open your eyes and you see the rest of your party members shocked in disbelief of your newly formed changed forms. The rest of you are now recovering from this bright light, and all of a sudden, the former TVs that were once there are now almost looking like angels. Mr. Peppers, you recognize this as Asimar, who are basically descendants of gods, being half angel, half human. These are highly respected in the holy community, and you have this urge that they are glad that they are on your side, but to what gods you are unsure.
Question: can they change gods if they want?
No,
Mm.
it kind of sucks. It's like
Not anymore.
it's like they're your daddy.
Yeah.
That was
But
my
how do y'all react to this?
Did I see them transform, or did I like?
Did they
You see a
disappear?
Do you see it?
I blinded
two
and they're
tieflings?
just there.
Yeah, you were blinded by this bright light, and all of a sudden, the tieflings that you once knew are now replaced with Asimar, that look totally different from before.
Where devils once stood, Azamar rise. It is us. Do not be
Copper's lying
afraid.
down half unconscious. I believe I was hit with lava and fire, so I'm
Yeah,
just
you're at 1 HP at this
Yeah.
point. So
I'm toasting. I have no recollection.
He just like gives you a glance, and you restore 9 HP. Be well,
still-
friends.
You are descendants of gods and goddesses, are you not? Asgard, right?
Yes. I carry within me the last shards of power of Helm, and my brother the last shards of Shar.
I quickly turn to him and I'm like, Shar?
Yes,
Follow
will that
Shar.
be problematic?
Let's not get racist about it. It's
There's no need to meddle about it, my friend.
we are born of them.
It is not problematic as long as you don't interfere with
As he
Moon Maiden's agenda.
we have seen the risen of your temple and fought your enemies. Is it not you who now sows dissent?
Is it not what?
It's you you're the one instigating.
You are, you. I
No,
have that problem.
I
Should have
just-
seen the look on your chicken face. Oh, by the way, we're
Shar
once
and
you
the Moon Maidens people have been very in quarrel for many years, and a lot of problematic things pop up
those
between them.
quarrels must end today.
But
You
like I said, I was informed nothing of this by my goddess. So as long as you don't interfere with her agenda in my temple's sacred space, I'm perfectly fine. But
I
We have a bigger
no ill
issue.
will towards you.
we have a bigger issue. I don't know
Yeah.
if you two know or if you remember,
I remember
but
everything.
there is a new goddess that is trying to take over, and that is my goal, and that is my goddess's goal, to defeat her.
Ours
We
as
have
well.
similar goals.
And
That's all we need to know for now.
And there
we
is
should
no
get
goal.
Copper.
The middle ground has been
Get
found.
him to a comfy bed. He looks like he needs it.
Equus, how are you reacting to all this? Equus?
Sorry, I've been a little absent as they're having this conversation.
Separating the loot.
I've just been trying to process everything that's happened to us in the past couple days. Like, it seems like not long ago we were safe and sound in the church, and now we're back in the shit again, and I'm just wondering if things will ever get back to normal.
Right.
Does your character voice this out loud?
yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I was.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I
Oh.
kind of.
My dear friend, my dear friend Equus, you shouldn't worry. We will make this better, one step at a time.
Normal is a relative term. We all now worship in strange directions of each other. But that doesn't mean we can't ally. We have worshippers of Bahamut, Shar, Saloon, Helm. I have no idea what Claudia believes in, but I don't know what you believe in either, Equus.
I believe
Once we get
Mother-
to somewhere safe, we should come to an understanding.
I agree. Well, I think we need to rest soon after the fight we've just had. Are we still interested in pursuing the dragon's loot?
We should go rest in the temple first
Yeah, we
and
should
then
take a
come up with a
rest.
plan.
That sounds wise to me.
Let's head up.
Alright.
Oh, sorry, man.
Oh, that's good.
So you guys begin to take, well, a day's long. It's going to take a full day just to get back to the temple. So you guys will get one full long rest beforehand.
Ooh.
During that long rest, Equus, you start to have a dream of a memory. Tell me what this memory is about.
It's a memory of back on the farm before the apocalypse. We had just gotten a new shipment of hippocampi in, like the half horse, half fish.
Of course.
And I had spent all fucking month digging out a moat for these guys to swim in. And I was just so excited to see them the first time. It was like I was a kid again. I was a young man when this happened, but just that breath of joy and seeing what wonders Mother Nature has created, it made all of the days digging that moat worth it.
Exactly. So as you finish digging up the moat, you look at the sunset. It's beautiful. It's glistening. It is glistening above the mountains that you are seeing in the distance. It shines brightly through the shade of the trees around you. The birds around are flying around the moments. What catches your eye, something that you don't recall, is seeing 3 crows looking at you, just staring at you, and just, acting like a crow. All of a sudden, you hear a familiar voice behind you say, and it's this similar female voice that speaks in an Irish accent that sounds like 3 women are talking simultaneously, saying, "Beautiful, is it not?" And you turn around and you see the Morrigan once more.
What are you doing here? You don't belong in this memory.
She acts a surprise and she says, "Whoa, well, what seems to be the trouble, Equus?"
I thought about what you told me last.
Have
I'm
you
not
considered our offer?
I'm not sure if the others will tolerate your proposal. I still need to mention it to them.
It doesn't matter whether they think about it or not. I see through my eyes that you have accompanying new angels now, remnants of Shar and Helm. I highly doubt they are motivated to switch sides. The cleric, with his faith rejuvenated after the defense of the church, well, I highly doubt he will join as well. The Dragonborn, however, and the woman with them, they might be convincing to join, lest they have gods that they favor as well. But I am more concerned about you, Equus. We are more concerned that, as a druid, you would care more about the nature, this beautiful scenery, and she gestures to the beautiful scenery around you, along with the animals that also occupy the forest. And she puts out her hand, and the 3 crows that you once see now on her arm, but you realize that the crows look vastly different from one another as far as having markings on their face, one having like a strange beak, the other a beak longer than the others, and one that has a head similar to Stitchskin. The one that looks like Stitchskin looks towards you, and it seems to be more interested in comparison to the other crows on her arm, and she says, "You see, back where I'm from, I would handle fates itself, and I believe the only true innocents are the animals in nature about them, for they are truly innocent, not making sins upon the world, fighting one another. That is one of our domains as well, but they at least fought with honor and with dignity. Over the past years, as I have lost influence, people kill one another for selfish things. Things that are, well, you would consider vastly, well, lack of a better term, massive stupidity, over greed, well, territory. And what falls victim is the nature and animals around. Animals going extinct because of hunters. Forests being burnt down for simple pieces of parchment. Are you willing to join me, Equus? As a druid, you should know that nature itself is priority above all else. And you see the crow that looks like Stitchkin fly up to your shoulders and is like looking at you and like pecking at you a bit.
You bring very compelling arguments that I'm not sure I can refute. As a druid, I've made my priorities quite clear. And I think you're right. Perhaps I should do more to sway my fellow man.
I'll give you 1 day's time. I'm assuming I'll have your answer by then.
Yes.
Very well. Then I should see you and your friends very, very soon. At that moment, you wake up from your long rest and you continue the journey onward. Do you guys would like to discuss anything during the rest of the time of the trip?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
actually.
I gotta tell you guys about this.
That's a good man.
Yeah, a couple days ago, the Morgan came into my dreams and told me that I've gotta convert everyone in the world to worship her, or else she's gonna like wipe out the planet. And today she was just saying like, now I gotta convert at least Copper and Claudia, or some bad shit's gonna happen. And she gave me kind of like an ultimatum, like I got 1 day to respond whether or not I'm gonna work with her. So like, that's what I'm dealing with. Just kind of wondering what you all think.
You've got your hand up.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yaman's gonna look towards the orc and say, "My orcish friend, I must ask, what is it that she offered you? She is not one to be known for bargaining."
Brother, I'm not sure that it matters what she offered him. The reality is one which we have learned of very recently. Our gods have informed us of what the Morgan truly is.
A failure. That is what she is. Our
The
failure.
offer as presented to me is that the world doesn't get destroyed. That's what I have to gain.
I see that.
But you can also gain that by defeating her.
That's true. Which is why I'm pitching this to you guys. Just sending out some feelers, wondering what kind of options we're interested in. I mean, y'all could convert. That's good with me too.
So, my personal understanding is, from what I've been told from my gods, is that the Morgan is an extra-dimensional being. It exists outside of this world, and as such, it's alien to us. It may take a form that you recognize as being beast, but to say that her world is one of peace would be a joke. She cannot save our world because she cannot save her own. What she offers is a death sentence for our world regardless. She wishes dominion over it, and as such is a conqueror. Do you refute this logic?
I do not. No, that's very sound.
So, giving you an ultimatum tells me that she is more like a tyrant than a god.
Or
Yeah,
a psychic manipulator.
What
For all
are
we
you-
know, she could be a mind flayer, fucking with you, sending you pleasant images.
Or 3 very smart crows. No gods, just 3
Just
very
3 crows in a trench coat.
And just
We've-
remember, you are a druid, correct? That means that you can regrow the earth as you. That's what druids do, don't they?
Yeah,
So-
we can swing.
I think we all represent different pinnacles of existence. And if we should rise, I believe our beliefs and values will spread.
Yeah,
Copper,
it seems like
your monk traditions, valuable in their own. Your ability to maintain druidic nature and animals is rival to none. I would protect. I would teach the guards. We've got a cleric. There's our priest, Yanvan, or Yamon the Knights. Sorry, I forgot my own name. It's complicated when he took the other half of my name, so it kind of makes it a little complicated. Yenvan just kind of shrugs and says, I believe in us. I believe in the power we hold. Do you?
I definitely don't believe in the Morgan.
I'm
Nor
sure.
do I. We should rest on it. Or walk on it. We've just rested. Let's get walking.
Coffer, do you want to interject in any of this?
I just want to state that while this entire rest was going on, because I took the dragon hide feed, Copper's entire skin grows back and looks more dragon-like and more metallic-like, and that's all I'll inject and say.
You've
Well,
grown
hey,
in shininess.
I noticed
You're
your
s-
scales
So have you,
grew.
brother.
That's true.
Theoretically, if we were to give you some sort of pain reliever and then cut some of your skin off, it would grow back, right? You'd be fine. And then we would
An
have
unlimited dragon supply.
I would
Is that-
snap your
Like, is there something wrong with that logic?
I don't even
Logically, it
think you
sounds
could beat
worse.
that macabre.
It's a meditative thing for him, I think, with the monk thing.
Or you could just pick up his discarded shedded skin if you're so interested.
Is that an option? Has that been an option the whole time?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I've not looked. Copper, do
I
you
had
shed?
burned in lava and was burned by a dragon.
So only under lava circumstances.
All right,
Noted.
well, we have our answer. Duly noted, yes.
We're all
I
like,
don't
fuck.
have armor like you people. My skin needs to get tough the old-fashioned way.
Do you see any armor, friend? He's like, he just got gestures.
Obviously, you are different. You weren't there when I was
Yes.
fighting Red. Obviously, this needs to be explained because I think I was unconscious for all this. What the fuck is going on? Actually,
I'm
Copper, our two friends here turned into half angels.
May I?
guess that was their. Oh yes, go for it. It'd be better explained by you.
We weren't tieflings. We were cursed to walk the earth as them. Our gods saw fit, well, we saw fit to cure ourselves and shed ourselves of our previous forms. We carry within us the remaining bits of power of our gods. They're
So are you an aspect of your god, or are you a wholly separate deity from your god?
Think of it like carrying an orb of power within yourself that you draw spirit from. I am both my god and a separate entity, and as such, when I finally ascend, I will die and cease to exist, and Helm will be reborn throughout the realm.
Yes, think of us as
Interesting.
blades to the gods themselves, an extension of their
Vessels.
arms.
Well,
Yes,
like,
that's a good way to
relating
put it.
that to me as a druid, like, I get the drawing power thing, but for me, it's like from the nature around me. It's not inside of me. But I definitely think of myself more as an ambassador of Mother Nature. So it's just interesting to hear how you guys, like, coming from a whole different background, how you guys.
Your
conceptualize
power is dispersed through the roots and plants.
it. Yeah,
Ours is more like a molten core.
that's exciting.
A little off topic, but just out of curiosity, Equus, did you shed too? Because apparently our Dragonborn did, and then the two angels shedded their old skin. So I'm not shedding. Are you shedding?
I think
I'm not shedding, bro. I mean, like, I burnt my leg, so like that skin is kind of shedding, but it's bad in the same way it would be bad if your skin started shedding.
yeah. Imagine your entire body.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair cop. Fair cop.
I didn't have
This
to
is
imagine
not,
it.
This is not an irregular phenomenon. Seriously, these two is an irregular phenomenon. This
That's
is
true.
what happens when I fucking did not get the distance right.
I was there for help. You just took off
Fuck
before
you.
I had to.
Shut up.
That's classic Hopper.
Well,
You guys spend the rest of the day traveling. Eventually, you get to the temple. It's close to sunset. The hollow spell, still functioning well, is deterring the undead. At this point, the undead is becoming bored of the bright lights of the church and is starting to stray outward. It seems like they're slowly dispersing out of the city. For what reason, you are unsure, but it seems like it is a somewhat more safer to travel based on word coming from everyone in the church. Copper, one of the followers of the church approaches you as you are just lounging or meditating, whatever you usually do, and it says, Copper, is it? Yes.
Yes.
There is someone that was here for the past 2 days at this point, and he was seeking shelter, but he once we were discussing about stories about the defense of the church, seems like he was quite interested, and seems like he was looking for you. I think he's might be outside playing his pan flute, but he says he knows you.
I don't understand how talking about defenses led to me. This
Well-
sounds very
well,
suspect. Insight
Here's
check.
sure, make an insight. Well, what's your insight modifier? Don't even attempt to roll.
+8.
Yeah, he's being very truthful to you, and seems he's genuinely not telling you honest things. And he continues saying, "Well, here's the thing. He is also a dragonborn that wears similar garbs to what you were wearing. Perhaps your friends, possibly."
What color was this dragonborn?
Well, this dragonborn, well, he's a little bit older and he's green.
I dash out running.
You dash out running to the courtyard and you hear this similar pan flute song, a song that would be played in your temples. And you look around for the pan flute and you see a slightly older dragonborn. This dragonborn is, to your kind, is probably in his late 50s, maybe early 60s, but he carries a staff and you recognize him as a walking stick. You see his whiskers of like a Chinese dragon, and you know him because he always gets made fun of because of his skin color. But you know him as Gren, one of the elders of your temple.
I walk up to him and I bow and I was like, Sifu, why are you here?
So the stories are true. It is good to see you, Kappa. He puts away his pamphlet and he begins to like approach with this cane. He says, "I see your skin has grown quite tough since the last time we spoke."
It is not a difficult place to live in these past couple years.
I'm sure it hasn't. It is nice to see you again, my old friend.
Why are you here? Why are you not home? What's going on?
As you know, our home was destroyed by Black, as you may know. Many of us dispersed. I was seeking refuge at first, but once I've heard that there was refuge seeking in Waterdeep, I sought to journey to the west. In the west I then journeyed. I have seen many of our former comrades fallen, defeated. Some even turned into those undead things that now plague our lands. I even seen the corpse of your dear friend Blue, his head mounted on the pike, somewhere in the western Heartlands. But I continued to journey forward.
I mean, did you take it off? I mean, you just left it there?
I took it off and honored him by custom to our traditions. So I continued journey, stealthing through the forest. You do know that Green Dragonborn are the smallest, so it's no surprise that Gren was able to slide through the forests, and with his general like green color, it's no surprise to you that he stealthed his way through. Even through with his age. He continues saying, "Then I once hit Waterdeep. I saw this glowing church of sorts. And I decided to rest here for a few days. Eat some, food that they volunteered to give to me. And once I hear stories about a dragonborn copper in color, I decided to wait to see if it was what I suspected, that's being you, Copper."
Am I the last one that you've seen alive?
You are the only one that I have seen alive since the destruction of our temple.
Ah, fuck. And I sit down on the floor.
Do not be distraught with your sadness, Kappa. I am sure that our highly skilled warriors are still out amongst looking for one another. The clan will be brought together once more, and we will rebuild under anew. But for now, we must stick together. We must make sure that the survival of our clan and our race stays intact.
Well, I mean, I understand that, Master, but I mean, you can't follow me on what I'm going to do. Like, this is my time to be fighting out and doing the adventuring. You just stay here. And I'm glad that you made a stay, but you just stay here.
I'm certain it is. My fighting days are now finished, as you may know. But I just want to make sure that another one of my pupils don't fall into the arms of the undead, or something worse.
Oh no, I won't waste my time with that wizardry or cleric shit. No. Fighting with these hands is all I'm here for.
That is the way of the dragon, Kappa.
That is the way.
And at this point, you two begin to discuss what have you, catching up on things. Him avoiding very close calls, avoiding a very hungry giant that was just eating everything in its path, coming across some vendors as of late, coming from a group known as, I'm reading my notes here, Ironized Armament Supplies, that seems to trying to make a profit trying to sell their wares, trying to obtain gold, which is quite strange because your clan doesn't follow gold, but you're now knowing, since being stuck in Waterdeep, that the world is slowly, at a steady pace, trying to rebuild itself in some way. What would you like to share to Gren?
I'm telling him everything. I'm giving him my entire body count. I'm going through the martial arts highlights of the time I did 2 crits by kneeing people in the face, like at the Shoryuken with the acid, like his secret maneuver, just everything.
I have seen you are using your training more effectively, and I see you've encountered a red dragon, it seems.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go kill it. I don't know.
I would not recommend it. I would not recommend disturbing Firebane's domain. He was once just a tiny wormling dragon to a ancient one, but the ancient one was defeated long ago. I'm surprised he has survived this far, but it is no surprise to me that he would stay hidden underground.
Wouldn't that make him the ancient one at this point if he's been around that long?
Ancient ones live thousands of years. Young ones have only lived for several decades.
I mean, but he's the only one. Okay, whatever. Go on, Master.
He continues the story, and you two continue to catch up, reminiscing on days of the temple, training, fighting, using the way of the dragon. While this friendly chit-chat is going on, what do the rest of you do throughout the rest of the day?
So while they're wherever Copper went and wandered off, I'm gonna approach my brother and say, "Brother, I truly do not wish to meddle in the affairs of devils and demons, but I do have a question for you.
Ask it, brother.
What has occurred to your imp? The one that I reckon the name was Aslov, I believe?"
Ask it, brother.
I'm not sure.
He doesn't appear.
He is probably banished to the infernal planes, or while he was summoned, he was still out. He was still around when I switched forms, so perhaps he is free of his bondage to me. I'm unsure.
I do hope he's off somewhere nice. As much as I do despise the filth below, that
I am
one was
hoping-
odd.
I'm hoping that he was forgiven for his existence and allowed a greater one.
Truly.
But we cannot be sure. I feel that I have lost something cognitively that I once had, replaced by, and he just kind of like flexes and like all the fucking light starts beaming out of him. He's just like
Everyone
unwieldy
around,
power.
everyone around you nearby is astonished.
I kind of just look at all these just random people, these downtrodden, and he steps forward and says, "Have any of you heard of the ways of hell?"
Two, three people like raise their hands. They're like, yeah.
Oh, so you've heard of me?
Oh my god.
What's your name?
For now, it would make the most sense if you just called me Helm.
No, I gotta get
No, you don't look like Helm to me. I mean, you look like you might be part of his crew, but I don't know. I don't know. They're not they're unsure to make of you.
Well, should any of you wish divine protection from Helm, you need only ask me. I am the guardian of his light, and I will guard you if you so wish it. And he walks away.
All right. They nod their heads in acknowledgement.
As he walks away, I am going to just walk away and start muttering. I'm trying to cast Find Steed just for the next 10 minutes, trying to see if my companion as well has been banished or not. We'll see.
You try to do Greater Steed, and of course you take it outside because you are aware of the size of your beast. It takes
Yes,
a
yeah.
while, and after some time, your beast starts to formulate and collate next to you. What is this beast?
So it is a giant lizard that has taken the shape of a silver pseudo-dragon.
It's been a long time since I've seen your friend.
Equus, you notice this as you are tending to nature around, and you all of a sudden you see a lizard-like pseudo-dragon appear next to Yaman.
Whoa, where'd you get that? And you got any eggs?
You have seen this mountain
No,
before,
my
but
old
only
friend.
once in your lifetime. These are quite strange creatures.
Of course, that's the first thing you ask. No, my old friend. She is not fertile, unfortunately.
Well, one day, you just give me a call.
You will never get close to Ragda, just so you're aware.
Well, no, I'm not asking for your beloved family pet. I'm just letting you know that
I don't think Equus means harm. I've never seen him mean harm before.
I've
helping,
definitely seen him mean harm towards cultists and the lot, but I do
Yes.
believe you.
helping rare animals multiply is my specialty. So when I see one of my friends got a super rare animal I've only seen once in my life before, I gotta ask.
Fair enough.
We should consider as well where these animals have fled to. If the red dragon exists, there could be more. Perhaps it would make sense to seek out the help of a golden dragon. I
More
bet that would make
importantly,
Copper happy.
are there zombie dragons?
Yep. There are.
Are
There
there
are.
zombie deer?
I imagine anything can be zombified. Zombification is
Zombie plants?
perhaps. I'm unsure.
I gotta do some research, man.
Me and my brother were not much of a study back home. We preferred more martial traits.
Agricultural studies are very much, you just kind of try some stuff and see what happens. And if it works well, you do it again next year. So it's not super scientific.
I knew that multiple of different special creatures like that were on my home in Nimbrel, the island of Nimbrel, but it's very hard to find.
What kind of creatures? Zombie plants?
Well, we had the Knights of Nimbrel, and they rode griffins frequently.
Ooh. Well, I gotta go visit your homeland sometime, man.
I can barely find it, and I'm hoping that empowering my goddess will help me find it. It's an island shrouded in mystery. It's almost like it moves.
Okay. Well, once I restore peace and harmony to the nature of Waterfell, I'll help you look for that.
I think we should find Copper. We have a lot of things to discuss and decisions to make. He doesn't have much to say, but he should be included.
We should talk to him. He's always running off.
Well,
Is he
I
known
run
for
pretty
that?
fast now too, and he's gonna go look for him.
You guys
Well-
eventually find Copper talking to this green dragonborn. It seems like an elderly dragonborn that wore similar garbs to Copper.
Also, no,
I
my
don't
clothes
mean
got burned. I was about to
stereotype.
ask him if he had a spare clothing set for me.
He
Does he walk around naked?
He does hand you a spare garments. Smells like the dojo itself. You wear them. I'll give you the chance to tell me what these garbs look like.
I mean, it's the same thing I wore before. There's literally nothing that has changed. It's literally just like an open, flowing t-shirt, and then just like a pair of shorts that are just like flowing and open, so I can do my kicks without ripping anything. Like I used to wear hand bandages and foot bandages, but I'm not wearing those anymore. And I guess I don't have a straw hat no more. So it's just like a regular old t-shirt and shorts.
he looks up and down. He says, I see. Those clothes fit you quite well, Kappa. But I think since you've told me much stories, I think you have earned this. And he pulls out a headband, a golden headband, which to your tradition is one of the higher regards as far as like showing excellent skill and martial ability. He says, even though I may not no longer have the power to bestow upon you this sacred headband, but I think that based on the stories you have showed courageous and showed the way of the dragon quite honor, and thus I shall bid you the rank of golden dragon. And he hands you the band.
I bow deeply and take it.
As long as you have the headband of the golden dragon, you get advantage on any wisdom checks.
Oh, nice!
Just checks, or
Yep. You put it on, you feel a bit proud, but because it's not like a traditional one, you don't think it has much pizzazz, but nonetheless, you take it and you honor it. He says, now. And he like looks over your shoulder, you turn around and you see your compatriots walking towards you. At this point, you guys find Copper talking to a green dragonborn that's elderly. And it seems like Copper has a golden headband now.
Well, that's the second dragonborn I've ever seen. I didn't know you came in different colors.
I feel like that's not what you would lead a conversation with. Especially with someone you haven't met. Please show respect to my master, Ryan Peppers. I am doing my best not to kill you.
Yenvon gives him a bow, even though he's standing ridiculously high over him, and says, "Greetings, master of the martial arts. I assume you know our good friend Copper."
Yes, he is one of my pupils. And please, call me Goren.
Karen, your pupil has proven a valuable ally to us throughout the time I have known him. He's a very wise and brave warrior.
That he has told me. And he has told me such strange stories of not just you lots, but it seems like other compatriots as well.
Unfortunately, not all we have served with lived to meet you.
Regardless, it is a pleasure to meet compatriots of my pupils.
What are your plans for the future?
Regather the clan we built. We must
I
keep
offer-
the way of the dragon away.
It might not be my place to offer, it might be Ryan Pepper's, but we have safe haven here and protection from the undead. A place where your people could train and instill their ways in others.
He looks at you, and he looks at you and says, I quite very much see that with my elderly eyes.
I'm sure.
Well, this
Way to
is
make it
all-
awkward.
I am not one who usually talks. Us Dragonborn are meant to fight rather than talk.
I will not tax you further. Copper, we have much we need to discuss about the future. I will be waiting in the church. And he just kind of leaves them.
I have nothing to say. I'm gonna mount my Ragta and just walk away.
Did
You
you
also
seriously
real-
come
see-
here with a lizard and not say a single fucking thing?
Hey, I was just here to find
That's
you.
like, this does not happen every time. This is what they should like talk about. They just pull up with the randomest of random things. These
They-
magicians are
they-
just all over the place.
Not a
They
lizard.
did just
pseudo
transform
dragon.
into something completely different. So it's like
Yes, I'm questioning things.
they're,
at this point.
they're different now. They're not
There-
the same people we once.
There is much to discuss.
Gren says, they are quite strange, as you once say, yes. But it seems like they have this weird pseudo-dragon lizard. And the female compatriot seems to have a pet of a drake. These are to be trusted, in meantime, for the golden one. If you need to leave, then by all means, it seems like you have much important matters to attend to. I will be here if you ever need talks of wisdom, or wish to join me in meditation, my friend.
Mr. Master Dragonborn.
Gren.
Karen. I'm sorry, I'm very bad with names.
Gren.
Karen. I have a you seem like you've been around for a while, correct?
That I have.
I'm just curious, have you ever encountered someone that was going to fight a god?
No.
No? Would
No.
you have any advice for us? Being, I'm sure you've experienced much combat.
That I have. I would say. Trying to think of dialogue here.
I mean, to be fair, that's one hell of a question to start off with a stranger. How do I fight a god?
He
Well,
looks up and down at your chicken form, and he says, I would say that since you are compatriots of Kappa, I say I hope the way of the Golden One guides you to victory.
I feel like that's a lot of pressure you just put upon me, Master. But I will do what I must. And I bow and I leave.
He bows.
Oh, because I'm trying to show respect at the same time as like communicating with him.
All right, you guys go back into the church.
As we go back, Copper, I didn't mean to offend. I was surprised to see another Dragonborn. I've never
Yeah,
seen.
but you don't talk about the color of Dragonborns. Like, that's not what you just lead with.
I thought it meant something. I don't know.
Plus, it means a lot.
I know it does, but like I was trying to be inquisitive,
It's a fair enough question.
I was trying to be inquisitive with my character, and because it's the second Dragonborn he's ever seen.
Oh, you don't have to explain your character's decisions. They're just role playing.
Oh, that's well.
It's all
regardless, you guys eventually find a private room to discuss such matters. What matters would you like to discuss, and who would you like to join with you, other than like yourself, of course?
Claudia.
Claudia joins in.
I would say the father of the church.
Yeah, I was about to say. I feel like
Father
you should know about
Sartorius. At
the
this point,
dragon
he
race.
looks like he's almost regaining full strength. At this point,
Maybe that blade wizard. Maybe
Nah.
he might have.
No, not anymore.
No. You don't even know his fucking name.
Listen here.
Okay.
you want to get Arculus?
Hell yeah, I got Arculus.
He is,
Sure.
he is our tactical lead.
He's a tactical leader.
Sure. Anyone else?
It's up to Copper, but with the monk, it didn't seem like he wanted to talk about anything.
You mean my
stuff,
master?
so- Yeah, I don't know if that dude gives a fuck.
It doesn't seem.
I am Zen. I don't give a shit about your problems.
I'm Zen. Fuck you guys. I'm ascended.
Just laugh. Oh, no. He could stay out.
Oh, he left.
just got here.
I thought he stuck
No,
around.
he's staying around, but I mean, he just got here. He's not in a leadership position per se.
No, it's not a leadership thing. Just good advice. But again,
That's what I was trying to ask him.
it doesn't seem like he has much good advice. So maybe he's real low wisdom, real high strength and dex. You know what I mean? Let's get down to meat and potatoes.
Talks with his fists.
So
You guys close the door. Father Sartorius is there. Seems like he's almost at full strength, and Arculus is also there, recovering from his wounds with his previous battle red. And Sartorius says, "So, what is the matters that we need to discuss here, gentlemen, and dragon and lady?"
we need a game plan. A lot
In
has
regard-
changed in a very short time.
What has changed?
Genvan just kind of like looks at himself and then looks at Yaman. And he's like, "I thought it was obvious, but this isn't
Of
just
course.
about us."
I see. I have gotten used. I know who Asmar are. It's not my first time interacting with one.
Fair enough. My only point is that we were given information about the Morgan, information that we need to move on. She is making her final assault. I predict it will be a matter of days before we are swarmed with great evil. We have to make a decision about whether we're going to dig our heels in and defend, or try to go on the offensive.
Arculus says, "Well, I think we should defend the church at all costs. We worked hard to defend it. We got you guys and, well, you're not devils, but you're angels, so obviously must be you're more powerful, right?
Clearly.
That, and we have, Copper, is that green dragonborn friend of yours able to fight, or no?"
He is past his fighting days.
Perhaps you could teach others to do so, as you could, Arculus. I think it
I
is
have
fair to say that the best defense is a good offense in this situation.
Well, of course it's the best defense. I've been
Oh my
training
God.
these troops for a couple days now. They've learned better tactics. They're better than your average guard. Of course, Leon, that blade singer, is still here, along with that archer. Seems like they're not going anywhere, at least at the meantime.
Question
I think
to you guys. So we need more people probably to help, right?
that's what I was going to say next. We need to recruit.
Well, what about that big group that we started off with before we got
Holy
kidnapped?
shit, we forgot about them, guys.
We should. That is a good idea. We haven't actually gone into the city in a number of days. It would be worth our time to.
All of them to fend for themselves.
Would it really be worth our time?
No, I don't think it would, but I think there's something better we can do. What if we can rally everyone in the city to a single point? They must have seen the beam in the sky. They must know that the temple is fortified. What if we can get everyone to understand at the same time what we're trying to do?
How would we go about that?
Oh, wait a minute. Let me check the text on Skywrite because I might be able to do that as a ritual, and that would be a great way of communicating to everyone
Holy
at the
shit.
same time.
And with that, we've also had the sun emerge for the first time in years. People must be talking in whatever small groups there are. If we can bring them together, we might have the makings of an army.
There was some soldiers in that group too.
Father Sartorius, would it be possible to expand the barrier of your protection spell?
Unfortunately, my limitations of the hollow spell are quite limited. It's only available to the church ground. Even if our cleric has the ability to cast such a spell at greater powers, I don't believe the hollow spell would affect the range. However, this sanctuary is safe from the undead and those of demonic entities.
Well, we can use that as a base ground and then kind of spread out a little more.
And take back
And, like,
territory
if-
systematically.
If they get invaded and it's too much for them, they can fall back to the church.
So I can cast Skywrite. It will last for up to an hour, and we can only write 10 words.
Arculus Jersey says, "Yeah, we've been trying to, from the groups of that have been going through town. Seems like there's not as much undead, but here's the thing. there were a few survivors here and there, and from what I've heard from the rest of the cavalry, that, well, there might be people looking towards the church as some kind of sanctuary, but
I think
I
we
don't
should.
know. I'm not too sure whether they're willing to go through hordes of undead to try to reach sanctuary. I mean,
I have a thought
there's-
on that. We should head to the most populated area, the densest area of undead, and begin cutting a path. Between all of us,
Who is this man?
I am still Yenvan.
Well,
I just see things a little differently now.
we also have an advantage. If we can get somehow all the undead to cluster in a small area, I can turn undead.
They are attracted to noise. This would
It
be a
could
good
wipe out
tactic.
and give everyone a chance to come.
How many times could we do that a day?
I can do it about 3, I believe. No, 2. I'm sorry.
Dude, that
I
is
may
still
be able to
massive
turn.
hordes.
I am able to do this turn undead myself, but I could only perform it once, says Sartorius.
I think
Unless
we
you
should
can kill the
sanctify.
undead, turning them is
does kill
just
them.
temporary, isn't it?
No, it kills them.
It ends their affliction. I think we should bathe this town in light and go on a holy rampage. And he fucking pounds the table.
That's all the light out of his chest when he hit
I'm gonna
the
raise
table.
my sword and say, "Yes, brother, a holy crusade. Reminds me of the good old days."
Back when we
New characters.
back when we only killed tieflings and weren't them.
I feel like we shouldn't be joking about that. It's such a fucked up thing to
Arculus
joke about.
Choice
That's like
is it.
trauma that we went through.
What's the god that Arculus prays to? Notable.
Moradin, I believe.
Say again.
Moradin, I think. The
What-
dwarf god of smithing.
Arculus Joyce says, well, if you guys are going to Holy Crusade, then, well, by all means, for Mordin's sake, I'll join you in this crusade.
Just cracks his knuckles. He's like, I think we should go outside and get some
So,
air.
for attracting zombies, I got Thunderclap, which makes an audible noise for 100 feet. So, like, that'll get a good amount of zombies near us.
We should fire that right into an echo chamber.
I have Tomergy.
Oh my god. We can make so much noise between all of us. This won't be
So,
difficult.
You do the thunderclap to collect them. I can stand a little, or be up in the sky a little bit, and scream out basically to any survivors to move to the church now. And
Well,
then
we should wait till after the zombies are dead.
yes, but I'm saying, well, we're trying to collect them, and in case it doesn't work, it doesn't always.
I doubt people will come running while we're still in the midst of the fight.
I think we should. But while the town is full of zombies, we should probably not tell people to leave their homes.
I think we can do a good bit of damage and safen the streets up a little bit. But we will eventually need to board up the damage to the walls.
Yeah, we gotta fix the church. And like,
So
how
I
many
was
people
cutting out
realistically
really
can
badly.
The church is pristine. It's the outside of the church that's not.
Nah, I didn't mean the church. I meant the walls of Waterdeep.
Oh, the city walls.
If our enemies can flood through the streets, we'll be at a huge disadvantage.
If I can remember correctly, wasn't there 3 holes in our wall?
I'm unsure about your church. I am not the groundskeeper.
The church, the wall of Waterdeep.
Probably.
Arculus joins in and says, well, yeah, that's what the plans were back when we were in the sewers. They're trying to keep the undead out of the city.
Let's fight our way all the way to these holes.
You sure? Says Arculus.
We'll fight until we have nothing left to fight with.
What?
Copper, I've never seen you turn down a fight. Are you scared
I
of
have
getting
turned
bitten?
down many fights. I have walked away. This is stupid. We should just go after whoever we have to go after, Just
We
a
have no
small.
idea where the Morrigan is. We've agreed on defense. You had
Equus
nothing to
keeps
say.
talking to her. He can ask her, and we can use that to find her, snuff her out, and end this.
Equus said she's coming here.
Sartorius looks at Equus and says, "You've been in contact with the Morrigan?"
She's invaded my dreams twice now.
So she is a dreamwalker, it seems.
So it seems.
She is growing in power, if that is the case.
She wishes to recruit some of us.
All of us.
Equus said.
She wants all of humanity to worship her, or all of the world's population to worship her, or she'll wipe the world out. She said.
I see. So trying to force conversion to her, if
Yeah.
not death.
We decided destroying her was the best solution.
A very wise decision of you, Equus. But know this,
Oh,
that
sorry.
dreamwalkers can know a lot more than you think.
So nobody remember this conversation.
Would there be a way to protect ourselves in our sleep?
Can we
It
Now
record
she
that?
can't know
seems
of our plans.
it seems that she is only able to contact Equus, some form of connection to one deity would be the key to Dreamwalk. However, and he points to, and he gestures towards you and your brother, are angels, descendants of remnants of gods. And you, Mr. Peppers, are a cleric of Saloon. Looks at Copper. I do not know which god you pray to, but I'm assuming dragon culture is quite different from our regular culture. And then he looks at Arculus, and you pray to your dwarvish god. And looks at Claudia and says, I'm not too sure about you, but it seems like you're very non-religious, it seems. Only deities interact with those who have some sort of faith within them. Sartorius then looks at Equus and says, what connection do you have with this Morrigan?
In both of my dreams with her, my dead friend Christian has been present. He was of Crow descent, and the Morrigan being associated with ravens, I suspect there's some relation there. The Morrigan claims she knew Stitchskin as well.
A former vassal, or excuse me, former compatriots, companion?
Yes, I believe she said something about yes, a former worker or associate that was allowed the opportunity to experience life on Earth. Some of those things I recall.
I see. In that case, we must come to a concise. Would you go after the Morrigan or clear a path to form more allies?
I think we should get the Morrigan.
He has an army.
I believe we should recruit allies and protect the innocent.
We have no hope of fighting a god, albeit a false god. They are still almost akin to them themselves. There's no hope. We must recruit.
We do need to defeat her at some point, but the problem is, if she starts her invasion, she's going to kill any survivors that aren't in our circle of protection.
I agree with this logic. We are
How
the
many
last.
people can we house realistically within our circle?
Well, we can spread out eventually, and it's just a point that is completely safe. So
I also believe that with the correct power sources, we might be able to create similar defensive spells. I believe we should retake what is ours and make our last stand. Perhaps humanity's last stand. We are unsure of what lies beyond these walls, but we know that this is ours now. We must defend what is ours.
Yes.
Then
No.
it is.
Should we take it to a
No.
vote?
That is wise. Democracy is only natural.
I believe in defense.
As
I
do I.
believe, I believe in assassination.
I wish to protect the believers of Saloon.
That is a non-answer. You do realize that, correct?
It's defense.
The politician's answer, the cleric's answer.
Sartorius agrees with saying we must protect Saloon, and we must protect the remnants of the Water Davian.
Arculus?
I believe Arculus says, "Well, I'm up to this whole crusade if you guys are into it."
Hell
Copper
yeah.
just leaves the room.
As a shepherd, it's my duty to protect the weak, and I believe we must consider the people of Waterdeep.
Then it is decided. I'm going to go walk outside and I'm going to stand in front of the church just beyond the range of the spell.
All right, you do so, and the rest of you. Okay, Copper. Would you like to join them? Yes or no?
No, I'm gonna go sit with my master for a bit.
Okay, you say with your master. And what is the look on Copper's face?
Contemplation.
What seems to come? What minds cloud your judgment, Copper?
The decision to leave this group to do what must be done by myself.
It is unwise for one warrior to fight off a bigger foe by oneself.
Says
You
the one
may.
who traveled for 2 years and you haven't fought in 15, master. I smack him on the back.
Oh, you can see like he readjusts himself. He says, "Do not do that, Copper. You know, dragon's old age." You see a scale like pop off from his body.
Sorry. Apologies.
Even though you have the band of the Golden One that now rests within you, it is unwise to face a foe that might even rival the Golden One himself. Alone. One
It's
warrior.
simple. If we attack the head and kill it, no one gets hurt. They're choosing a bloodier option whether they realize it or not.
He looks at you and he says, "If there's one thing that you could never get around my teachings, is that simply the straight answer does not always lead to the proper solutions. Sometimes you must take advice of others. Sometimes you might have to do things that you may not like, but it is better to do one proper, planned, calculated, than just going straight to it. What I'm trying to say to you, Kappa, is that it is wise to have those that stand beside you against a common foe, rather than being all alone, defenseless. It is an unwise decision, especially one with defense. It is wise to have others with you. If worse comes to worse, if one person goes down, the others may still fight for the cause. You going alone hinders one group. Your ideals die with you, whereas
Well, they
one group.
don't. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one in this camp who thinks how I think.
I am sure you are not. But in life, Copper, we must do things that we do not like. I don't even agree with this plan as well. However, it seems that your allies are willing to do whatever means necessary for whatever people rest here. It is their duty to fulfill the wishes of the people.
I just feel like with a small group, we could do it. I was a part of Dragon Team 6. We did it before. I could do it again.
Dragon Team 6 is no more, Copper. We are scattered. We must join together. Even though in our past teachings that no one else would be welcome to the teachings of the Fist. It is at this point that we must consider others to be worthy of the clan's teachings. For you, a Dragonborn would make possible dragon kin more proud. I know that the Golden One would think a similar manner.
Train somewhere. Thank you. And I bow and leave.
He bows and he says, I wish you luck, Copper. I hope to continue our conversations from days onward.
As long as you're here.
And here I shall be. And he continues, he pulls out his pamphlet and begins to blow into it. The rest of the party gathers in front of you, along with Arculus. Who else would like to join you on your holy crusade, quote unquote?
We going balls deep in this? Like squad deep?
Fuck yeah.
Yanmon stands there. He doesn't expect everyone to show up, but he hopes they do.
I show up.
Copper will show up.
Do it.
Yeah, sure.
Good for the horses, good for the herd.
Arculus will show up.
Yeah, Arculus.
Your last
Leon-
battle, friend.
Leon and the female archer will also join. Leon says, so Arculus has told me that you wish to gather recruits, and he told me this plan of yours. Will it work?
Who's he talking to?
Talking to Yanban.
There's no assurances that any plan that we decide on will have any difference in the outcome of this world. But this is a plan that I personally believe in.
Very well. Then lead on, SMR.
He just turned. Can you guys hear me? Okay, there
Yep.
it goes. He just turns and he just takes off running, like just doom, 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 hitting the ground, running towards the busiest part of the city.
I'm flying above, I guess.
I
So I
can't
can-
fly
Slowly.
So I
I'm
can
Flying,
get ready to
I'm
cast
purposefully-
Nature Undead.
I'm
say-
purposely not going to outpace him. I'm just going to run right behind him.
Okay.
Aquas, what'd you say?
I'm gonna fly with Ryan now that I got wings. I'm gonna try this
Oh
shit
yeah.
out.
You unfurled your leathery armor and your wings pop out and you fly with Ryan. At first you have trouble, but eventually you get the hang of it. You're flying like a bird.
Hey, I see why you guys like this shit.
Yanron looks down.
It is in my nature.
I'll
rest-
trot along with my pseudo dragon.
The rest of the path follows. Claudia, keeping a steady pace with her Drake following behind her. Leon and the female archer also keeping at a steady pace. Arculus, being the dwarf in short legs, is in last of the group, but he is catching up. You guys jog, keeping a steady pace, deeper and deeper towards the city. And as you do, you at first realize that after a couple mile or two, there's very little to no undead around. Seems like most of the undead is heading more towards outward. And as you guys head more outward, you do see a couple zombies, as far as population wise, begin to increase. At that point, you keep it to a slow, steady pace, being stealthy for the most part, trying to make sure not to attract noise at the moment. You eventually get to the center of Waterdeep, where you see a large concentration of these zombies are around you on your sides and more outward, seem to be heading towards the direction of the walls themselves. What do you all do?
Prepare the trumpet.
I was about to say, are we still on for the thunderclap idea?
Yeah, do we want to spring the trap?
Because I also have an ability that lets me make audible noise for around 300 feet too. So
I think we should all make as much noise as possible, and then have an escape route and hit them all at once with long-range, powerful ability.
What's
Are there,
around the
are there
center of the
rooftops?
city?
Yeah. Yeah, what's in the city?
Say again.
Are there like rooftops in the city? Like we said, we're in the center. Like
Yes.
There is a few rooftops that are only 10 foot high. I would say this part of the city is more like the marketplace of the city, so it's not like high-rise buildings during this part. But you see Tappard, what used to be former merchant tents, clattered. Clearly, all these nearby tents are looted as much as it can. However, you do see that the undead are like grouped up in a bunch, scattered about, not paying any attention to you.
So this is more like an open plaza and less like a bunch of clustered buildings. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
But since this is the marketplace, there's clearly a straight towards the marketplace that would come towards the wall, since
Yeah,
this is the
okay.
market district.
So notable, what's your ability that makes noise?
thunderous smite can be
that's
heard
even
for
more
around
thunder
300 feet.
than my thunderclap. Yeah, I think it's a go unless anyone has any notes. I mean, it sounds like we got a plan.
Anyone with
would it be possible for a copper to run onto a rooftop?
Yeah, you can easily do so.
anyone who can move into the sky should do so. And I'm just gonna
Ooh.
stand on the ground and I'm gonna hold my abilities.
Mm.
All right. One of
Shit,
the
so me
archers
and
will
Necklace
climb
are really
and
the
take.
only ones in danger here.
So one of the female archer will climb up one of these few small buildings and will prepare an archery position.
Okay.
Anything else you guys would like to do?
Any last
So
word?
I have one last thing.
Yeah.
So there are buildings around this, right?
More like tents for the most part. Again, it is an open plaza. There's not much buildings around
But maybe
you.
like on the edge of the plaza, there's buildings.
Yes, we'll say
Alright.
that.
I am sending my steed to climb one of those. It has climbing speed, by the way, so
You
I'll
do
do
so.
that.
You command it, and it does it.
Oh, with that, I'm good.
For Mother
Anything
Nature.
else?
Let's do this thing.
Gonna stand on the corner of the building and just overlook it, like on the edge of it.
I'm floating up in the middle of the plaza. I'm gonna make a bunch of noise and attract a bunch of attention.
And how are you making this noise? With the clap?
Yeah, so it's visible or it's audible for 100 feet. It's not gonna go as far as notables, but it's certainly gonna add to the noise.
Issues.
A thunderous clap rings out throughout the plaza, like a sound of lightning just struck right in the middle of it. As it does, the horde of undead that forms halfway around the plaza stops and turns, going. Multiple sounds of undead creatures formulate, and they begin to walk towards the sound. And as you guys begin to walk to prepare for combat for this undead horde, preparing to attempt to clear some sort of a path or reduce the numbers of the undead, we will have this combat next week.
Oh, you monster.
So that'll be the end for this session. A lot more talking rather than combat, but I do enjoy these types. And next week, we'll see if our heroes live, die, who knows. So till then, guys, we'll see you next week. Take care.
Man.